Everyone, this is Renata, and I'm so sorry. I'm in my car, but I'm not really sorry because I have a message to say to share with you, and I'm running nonstop since 5 o'clock this morning. I was helping some friends at the radio station, and had another meeting, and just going to another place. So I wanted to share something with you about our goals, okay? How we set the goals. And I know sometimes I talk about not having very specific goals because then we have too many expectations and we raise the bar way too high. And if something happens in the meantime and our goals get shifted, meaning we oftentimes visualize or set the goals specifically like this, they have to come true, or we have to achieve them in a certain way. There is a specific way that we have usually set in our minds that things have to happen, right? And too often it's not the case. I'm sorry, I have to put this on because it's too bright for me. So oftentimes it's not the case because we cannot predict how things gonna happen. And if the end of the journey is what's gonna be, I would rather you focus on the feelings or the overall goal, like more general goal, how you want to end up, or where in life or in business you want to be, right? But don't go too specific because the standards that we set for ourselves, especially if we cannot reach or something happens, we're not able to reach those standards, and that ceiling, or specifically things don't go the way we specifically designed in our head, we get disappointed, and that creates even more resistance. Okay, so what I would love for you to do is, how about you do an exercise that's really fun, and you can use that everywhere. And we just did that exercise in one of the meetings that I had today. Imagine what the 2020, a year from now, would be like. Imagine that you're already there. What does it look like? What does it feel like where you are? Who's around you? What's going on? I mean, what's going on in your life, in your business, 1 year from now, 2020 December. Just, if you want, if you have, just don't do that if you're driving. But if you can just sit for a minute, close your eyes, get into that feeling. Imagine as many details as possible. Get all the sensations running as much as possible. And have that visual, that picture in your mind. 2020 December. Okay? Take a few moments, pause if you need, and come back later. And now, I'd like you to look at a year ago. Where were you in 2018? What was going on? What was happening in your life? What was happening in your business? What kind of goals you wanted to set out? Or maybe you did. Just go back a year and see what was going on, what was happening a year ago. You can do the same process. You can just remember, sink into that memory, the feelings, the emotions, or people, or whatever was going on. Okay? So pause if you need. And the third thing I want you to do is go into the present right now. Where you are right now, if you compare yourself 2018, a year ago, and where you are right now, how much have you actually achieved? Where you are in terms of business, in terms of people around you, in terms just in general, like your state, mental, emotional, whatever other details you can pick from that whole year. I want you to kind of scan the whole year and see what happened. What is that difference? Okay? When you were a year ago and where you are right now, today. Again, take a moment, pause if you need, and just scan that whole year. The reason we're doing those 3 things is because if you look at the past, present, and I'm stopping right now so I can use my both hands. I'm safe forever. So if we use past, present, and future, if we look back at the past a year later, and if we try to jump into the future, trying to predict it, it's not gonna be as easy. But if we look into the future and imagine we're already there, and what we already got accomplished a year later, and then we go back into the present and look, since we already set the picture, right? It's so much easier to look at the future when we already have a visual, and it's so much closer from the present to the past, to the future, than from the past going to the future, because it seems to be a really long way to go. It's a mind trick that you can use actually, and try this and see how that feels, because especially if you share your future vision, what you have imagined with others, guess what that's going to do? You will say it out loud, number one. That would make you feel committed more than anything else, because whenever we share with others and say things out loud, what we're trying to achieve, we don't want to feel bad, and we want to keep our words and just not discard that, oh, I just said something just because I was the same, right? No, we want to keep the words. We want to kind of take action and make sure that we actually accomplish the things that we say we would. And since you already got into the visual thing and the emotions, you looked at what it looks like in 2020. You already know what exactly you're going to be working through the whole year. And it doesn't matter how things come to you. They can come in many different ways. Just don't get stuck on one specific way, because I can guarantee you it may not be the way. And try. Just be open. That's all I'm asking. So I hope that you do this exercise and you find it useful. And I would really love to know, how do you like it? And I would love to know in a year, if you remember, I will remind you, what you accomplished. How far from the 2020 goal, that in a year end result, that outcome that you were actually imagining, visualizing, how far did you fall? Because I am pretty sure you're going to be pretty close. Okay? So I hope to see you back on the page, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're looking, wherever you're watching, I'm sorry. And if you have any questions, drop a comment, PM me, message me directly if you need any help during the 2020. If we haven't met, just look up my website. I'll make sure to include it. And I hope to talk to you soon. Have a great day. Have a great holidays. And I'll see you back soon. Bye.